Hey, welcome. You know that feeling when you unbox a new phone or you sit in a new car and everything just feels right? It's solid, it works perfectly, it just clicks. We all recognize quality when we see it. But have you ever stopped to think about how companies actually achieve it? Well, it's not magic. It's a science and it's a system. So let's pull back the curtain and demystify how great products are made.
All right, let's start with the most basic question of all. What even is quality? Seriously, before we move on, take a second. What does that word mean to you? Is it just about being shiny and expensive? Or does it go deeper than that?
See, it turns out that if you want to build something great consistently, a gut feeling just doesn't cut it. You need a rock-solid, precise definition. So we're going to start right there, building that foundation. Because once you get this, everything else we talk about is going to make so much more sense.
Okay, here's the official definition from the International Standard. I know it sounds a little wordy, a little academic, but just zoom in on these keywords: fulfill requirements of customers. That's it. That's the whole game. Quality isn't what the company decides is good. Quality is simply, did we meet the customer's needs? Did we deliver on our promise? And understanding that definition leads to this massive shift in thinking. The old way, the classic concept, was all about the company setting the rules. They'd build a product and then just react, firefighting problems as they popped up. But the modern way, it flips the whole script. The customer sets the standard. The focus is on perfecting the process so problems don't happen in the first place. It's proactive, not reactive, right? So if quality is all about the customer, how do you organize an entire company around that one single idea? You can't just hope for the best. You need a plan. You need a blueprint for excellence. And this is that blueprint. It's called a quality management system, or QMS. And just look at this diagram. What's right smack in the middle? The customer. Everything, from research and development to buying parts to building the product to customer service after the sale, it all revolves around that central point. It's a continuous feedback loop designed to keep the focus exactly where it belongs.
So the whole philosophy behind this system really boils down to three simple but powerful ideas. 1, it's all about the customer. 2, you're never done. The goal is always continuous improvement. And 3, this is so important. Quality is everyone's job. It's not a department, it's a culture that involves the entire team. So, if the QMS is the car's blueprint, what's the actual engine that makes it run day in and day out? Well, that's where this beautifully simple yet incredibly powerful cycle comes into play.
This is the PDCA cycle. Plan, do, check, act. This little loop is the absolute heart of continuous improvement. It turns getting better into a repeatable, scientific method. It's kind of like baking the perfect cookie. You plan a new recipe, you do a small test batch, you check how they taste, and then you act on what you learn to make the next batch even better. It's that simple.
Okay, so step 1 is plan. This is where you put on your detective hat. You list out the issues, you dig into the data to find the real root causes, and you figure out which problem is the most important one to tackle first to get the biggest bang for your buck. Next up, you do. This is the action phase. You take your plan and you put it into motion, usually on a small scale. You're not overhauling the whole factory just yet. And crucially, while you're doing it, you are collecting data, measuring everything to see what's happening. Then comes the check phase. This is the moment of truth. You take the data you just collected and compare it to the data from before. Did the change actually work? Did we get the results we planned for? Is the fix actually effective? And finally, you act. If your test was a success, you standardize the new method. You make it the new normal across the board. This is how you lock in your improvements. And if it wasn't a success, no problem. You take what you learned and you go right back to the plan stage. It's a cycle, remember? So, you might be wondering, what do people actually use during that planning and checking phase to make sense of all the data? Well, let's take a super quick peek inside the quality professional's toolbox. This right here is a Pareto chart. It's based on what's called the 80-20 rule. The idea that most of the time, 80% of your problems are coming from just 20% of the causes. This chart is a simple visual way to spot that vital few 20% so you can focus your energy where it's going to have the biggest impact. And I love this one. This is a fishbone diagram. When you've got a really tricky problem, this tool helps your team brainstorm every single possible cause. It's an amazing way to make sure you're digging past the surface level symptoms to find what's really going on underneath. So we've looked at the definition of quality, the system, that PDCA cycle, and a couple of the tools. But before we wrap up, let's just zoom all the way out and talk about the big idea, the philosophy that ties all of this together.
This quote just nails it. Quality is a state of excellence. It is not static. It moves throughout time. The most important takeaway here is that you never actually arrive at perfect quality. The goalposts are always moving.
And that's the ultimate idea I want to leave you with. The world's best companies understand this in their bones. Customer needs change. Technology evolves. There is always a better way to do things. The pursuit of excellence is a process that never, ever ends. That's because quality is a journey, not a destination.